Hey guys, back with another classic kit from Monogram. F-80 Shooting Star 1/48 scale unassembled model kit. And again, another kit that I built when I was just a wee lad. I'm sure I've built hundreds of models when I was a kid, so no surprise I, of course, built this one. This is actually one of my favorite aircraft just because the lines to me and the design is pleasing. And this was the United States' first operational jet fighter. A little bit of trivia there for you. A little too late to see any kind of action in World War II. I believe that there was one small squadron that was based in Italy during the war, but never saw any action. So most of what this sucker did right here was in Korea. Let's look at one of the first long panels here, of course. Just shows pictures of the completed kit. And age 10 through adult, kit number 5428. The first turbojet fighter to serve in operational strength with the U.S. Air Force in 1/48 scale. This model has a wingspan of 10 inches. It has a detailed cockpit, landing gear, and machine gun bay. Tail section removes to show turbojet engine, authentic decals included, may be painted to match photos on box, cement, and paint, of course, not included. And I built this, I remember, right alongside the Monogram F-86 Puff the Magic Dragon, which, I mean, of course, I've got a couple of those kits in the stash, because that's just how I am. I have problems. All right. Very typical, again, late 1970s, early 1980s Monogram molded silver plastic. And decent clear parts. Nothing too fantastical. It does have the rod so that the plane is not a tail dragger, but of course now we all know to put some weight in the nose of this bad boy. Or tail sitter, I should say. And it looks like, yeah, although the plastic wrap was off, this has never been taken out of the bag. So we're going to do that right now. Breathe all that old 1980s air. Smells like my childhood. Confusion and sadness. Okay, here we go. Alright, we got the top wing halves right here. You got your horizontal stabilizers, which those are whole and intact. This right here is actually part of the rack that holds your engine if you display it outside of the aircraft itself, which I think actually you insert the engines into the tail housing, and the whole entire tail housing is what sits on that rack. But we've got guns, gun panel, drop tanks, wheels and tires, pilot figure, which actually I got to hand it to Monogram back in the early days. Their pilot figures were actually pretty decent. They weren't bad. Weren't too shabby at all. Of course, you can have it so that the guns are displayed, which honestly I never really do that. I just glue the panel on. And looks like we got some 250-pound bombs, some more drop tanks. Those are the early drop tanks, like the ones that the Mustang carried. Some later drop tanks. And looks like we have some pylons. I believe that's the front half or turbofan of the engine. Some landing gear doors, cockpit tub. Not super detailed, but again, just enough detail to get you by. Rear fuselage halves, that part's trying to come off. Yeah, you put the engine inside there, and then this whole thing sits on the rack. Instrument panel. Not a ton of detail, of course. And then your two forward fuselage halves. And then you got the bottom of your wings and also the bottom of your fuselage. Which, I mean, again, you know, for an older kit, that's not a bad amount of detail. Raised panel lines, of course. And let's take a look at these instructions here. I know I say this pretty much every video, but again, very, very typical Monogram instructions. All your do's and don'ts, options, all your fun stuff to learn about what you're supposed to do. What's the word I'm looking for? Guess that shows all your different processes. Glue, don't glue, decals, open up holes and slots, things like that. Options, remove a brace, you know. And of course we have all of our different callouts in several different languages for the different paint colors. Alright, cockpit assembly first, as per most of them. And pilot instructions on painting, putting together both of the fuselage halves, wheel wells and landing gear, front landing gear, and of course all of your different options for drop tanks and if you want to use the bombs. There is what you do if you assemble that, which it says don't glue it, but I mean, I of course am going to glue it. Same thing with that, going to glue it. Canopy, I probably won't glue. There is the assembly instructions to put together your rear half. Oh, okay, I see. Now I remember. All right, so the engine stays inside of the forward fuselage, and this rack just holds the rear fuselage. Okay. All right. And then, of course, your diagrams for putting on your decals. Which the decals in this kit, unfortunately, are the scariest part because they are absolutely roached. It's kind of weird because actually the glue didn't really yellow on these. It's just the backing paper. So these might be salvageable. The only thing that I'm afraid of course, is get these in the water, start to slide them on, and they just fall apart, which those national insignia look like they are incredibly out of register. Yeah. They are terribly printed, out of register. They look like they were printed on a dot matrix printer. And 5 of 95? Huh. I honestly didn't know that they had produced this kit again in the mid-90s. That's kind of impressive. And May of 95, man, these decals look terrible for May of 95. I mean, I've got decals from the 80s, heck, the late 70s that are way, way better than these. But, you know, hey, every once in a while they make a mistake, right? They're not perfect. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, another classic kit from my childhood. We have gone through it fairly thoroughly. Eventually, I hope to build this kit. I mean, again, with the hundreds upon hundreds of kits that I have in my stash, one can only hope and pray that I get to it. If I do, of course, I'm going to go on eBay and I'm going to get some replacement decals because I just don't trust those decals. And to be honest, they don't look so good anyways. I mean, the national insignia being out of register, as far out of register as they are, it's just not worth it to even take the risk, especially when I can go on eBay and I can buy a set of decals for, you know, 10, 15 bucks. That is when and if I ever get to this kit. But, anyways, again, we have been getting a ton of subscribers. Thank you guys for stopping by. Welcome. Hope to build up a model community and you know, just do one more thing that I enjoy and bring everybody along with me. So that being said, if you haven't subscribed yet, that is the best way, please, 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 best way to support this channel. Tick the bell to get a notification every single time that I do upload a video. And if you like the video, throw it a thumbs up, because that tells, YouTube that maybe I'm doing something right here. At least maybe halfway interesting. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, love you all, God bless, and we will see you, hopefully, very soon. Happy modeling.